The article starts with this quote: "The woman cannot believe it. She is in the same elevator with Rudolph Giuliani. Oh, this is a thrill." This is not someone in a MAGA hat at CPAC last year. It is a random New Yorker in the year 1985. 1985 was the year that Rudolph Giuliani made a name for himself. It was the year that Giuliani pioneered the same prosecutorial tactics that now very much look like they could be his downfall. But let me back up just a little bit. This is Carmine the Cigar Galante. He was allegedly the boss of one of New York's most powerful mafia families. And in the late 70s, Carmine the Cigar flew a little too close to the sun. He was shot at point-blank range at an Italian restaurant in Brooklyn. Allegedly, the motivation of his assassins was that Galante had decided that a guy named Anthony Indelicato, also known as Whack Whack, was tied to the crime. Whack Whack's palm print was discovered in the murder's getaway car, but Mr. Indelicato, Whack Whack, was almost definitely not the person who decided the fate of Carmine the Cigar. Whack Whack may have been part of the group that pulled the trigger, but he would not have made a decision that big. Mr. Indelicato was what is referred to in the mafia as a capo, a middle-ranking member of a mafia family. And the young U.S. attorney in the Southern District of New York, Rudolph Giuliani, didn't want to just go after the capos. As he later told Time magazine, the old practice of locking up a capo or two just helped speed the secession along. Instead, Mr. Giuliani wanted to strike all levels of the mob family, saying it was not an unrealistic goal to crush them. So Giuliani went for the people at the top.
The indictment of the National Commission of Organized Crime. According to the FBI, this 9-member ruling body is co-chaired by the men who are the bosses of New York's 5 organized crime families. The Genovese family, headed by Fat Tony Salerno. The Gambino family, headed by Big Paul Castellano. Lucchese family, ruled by Tony Dux Corallo. The Colombo family, run by Jerry Langella. And the Bonanno family, headed by Phil Rastelli.
The case that made then U.S. Attorney Rudy Giuliani a national figure wasn't about any one criminal or any one crime. It was about how all of these crimes, drug deals and extortion, even murder, how all of that was ultimately controlled by the people at the top in the form of a criminal enterprise. In this case, a ruling body with a mob boss from every family, a ruling body called the Commission.
They are said to run the most powerful crime families in New York, in fact, in the nation. And according to the government, they make up the Commission, the ruling body of a potent criminal enterprise dealing in drugs and extortion, loan sharking, labor racketeering, and murder. The mafia leaders were rounded up in an overnight sweep, and today, U.S. Attorney Rudolph Giuliani announced the indictments.
This is a great day for law enforcement, but this is a bad day, probably the worst, for the mafia.
The Commission had existed in New York for more than 50 years at that point, without anyone being able to touch it. What gave Giuliani the ability to go after the Commission itself, rather than just the Commission's foot soldiers like Whack Whack, was Giuliani's pioneering use of a relatively new law, the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organization Act of 1970. You might know it more as RICO. Before 1970, prosecutors were limited to seeking indictments for specific acts, such as the commission of a crime or to finding witnesses who would testify about a criminal conspiracy. RICO changed that. If you could prove that there was an enterprise or an organized group of some kind conspiring together to commit multiple crimes, then you could charge for that conspiracy.
It was back in 1983, I think, Ron, when Ron came to visit me to talk about putting together a RICO case. At that point, we all thought that there was a possibility of putting together a case on the commission of the mafia, but it was on the drawing boards at the time. And there were an awful lot of people, including people within law enforcement, that thought that it was totally unrealistic, ridiculous, could not be done.
Rudy Giuliani did it. The top bosses in New York's most powerful mafias were given 100-year prison sentences. And the case made Giuliani famous, and he used that fame to ultimately run for mayor of New York, and, well, you know the rest of the story. But now a version of that same law, Georgia's RICO statute, a version of that law could be Rudy Giuliani's downfall. of all the indictments former President Trump faces, one of the things that makes yesterday's unique is how many other defendants there are. Because it is a RICO case, Trump was indicted along with 18 other co-defendants, 19 people, 19, all charged with being part of a criminal enterprise, just like how Giuliani charged the commission in the 1980s. And last night, Fulton County DA Fani Willis made it clear that she intends to try this whole criminal enterprise together.
Do I intend to try the 19 defendants in this indictment together? Yes.
Now, we have seen plenty of high-profile cases against individual defendants play out in court over the past few years. The trial against Trump's former campaign manager, Paul Manafort, for example. We know how those trials work. But what about a case against 19 people? What about a RICO case? How will this all work? And now that all 19 of these individuals are facing serious jail time, how soon until someone in this case flips? Because make no mistake, as much as Trump is surrounded by co-conspirators here in both the federal case and in the Georgia case, even someone like Rudy Giuliani is ultimately just a capo in this criminal enterprise. The big boss, the end game here, is Donald J. Trump. And the question tonight is, does the RICO law that Rudy Giuliani built his career on, does that ultimately ensnare Donald J. Trump?